Hello, welcome back to a new video. This one is like a little bit different to a studio vlog because I'm taking you along on the whole process, or as much process that I managed to film, for a mural I painted back in February. I asked on my Instagram if anyone had any questions regarding the process, and so throughout the video I'll be doing a voiceover answering some of the questions that were like repeatedly asked. Hopefully it's helpful, hopefully it's insightful, and yeah, I just hope you enjoy watching. I will see you again at the end. I'm just getting ready to go to the location where I'm putting up a mural, and I thought I would do like a what's in my box sort of thing, show you what I'm bringing with me. So it is almost the end of the day and I'm gonna go out there. It's an interior mural that I'm doing in an office building, and so I'm gonna put it up, and when I say put it up, I'm gonna draw it onto the wall using a projector, which I have here. That's one thing in the box. I'm gonna do that tonight when no one's in the office so that I can figure out lighting and everything like that. I have some painter's tape, 2 sizes of rollers, which it's a very detailed, oh, wow. I haven't packed brushes. Okay. So I'm also packing all my brushes. It's what I was saying, it's a very detailed piece, so I think like I'll use the rollers a little bit, but I mainly probably will just need like brushes like this size. I've got rags and bin liners and some like more heavy duty paper towel. This is like the one that's used for grease. I have a drop sheet, and then I also have some old sheets to use as a drop sheet. The roller liners, mixers, a few of those, and these are like paint liners, like paint pail liners, but you don't need a pail. You just need these and they work great. I have extension cords because I have no idea what the situation is going to be in there. It's like in the middle of the room, so you know I need to plug in the projector and my laptop. So yeah, lots of extension cords. And then I have Floetrol. I could be saying that wrong, but my friend just advised me to get this the other day. You add it to the paint and it like basically smooths out any brush stroke lines. So that will be very handy, and we'll see how it goes using it. Hopefully it should be good. And then I only have 2 paints right now, but because the other's in my partner's car, but yeah, obviously I'm bringing paint with me. So I think that's everything I need. I'm gonna walk over there now and start installing it. Hello. I've forgotten your name. Okay, we're all set up. Got my laptop, HDMI, random magazines to balance it, and I'm gonna start drawing. I think it's not quite straight. Or is it? So I thought I'd begin with the question, how did I start painting murals? So the first mural I did was actually in my mum's allotment. She had a shed that was like a bit decrepit, and I just wanted to get some experience, have something to put in my portfolio. Other ways that you could start painting a mural, or if you just want to like have something to put in your portfolio, I've listened to artist talks where they just got a few panels of plywood and painted on those. Or maybe you have a friend who has a studio who would let you paint on their wall, because it can always be painted over. So if it's just something temporary to get you some experience, to put something in your portfolio, it's a good way to start. Another way you can get into murals is through grants through the city. There's also free walls that are normally in your city where you can go and add to the wall. Normally you'll find something online about that. There's like a lot of etiquette around it. The city might also have a roster list of people that when like companies and businesses are going to them wanting a mural, they have artists that they can suggest. These can be sometimes really difficult to get onto. Unfortunately, my city doesn't make it that easy for emerging muralists to get their work out there and on walls. But another thing you could look at is mural festivals, which normally, even if you don't live in the same city, you can apply to. And they're normally every summer, and the applications go out in the winter. They might pay for you to travel over, so you can even look at places that aren't close by. I think another good way to get into murals, which I wish I had done sooner, is find a muralist, hopefully in the same city as you, that you really admire, that you think you have like a similar style to, and just ask them if you could shadow them, if you could like come along when they are painting a mural and check out them doing the work, if you could volunteer and help them out. That's another really great way to learn hands-on. I have a couple of people in the city that have been a huge inspiration to me. They might not really know it, but I see as a big mentor, and I've created a relationship with them where they are happy to answer any of my questions that I might have, which, believe me, I had many. And it can just be a really great way to learn more about muraling and the mural artists in your community. And, you know, the more people you meet, the more people you connect with, hopefully the more opportunities that will come up. So the first mural I did for a client was actually with a shop here called Bric-a-Brac Salvage, and I used to work for them. So maybe that's another way that you can get your first mural job. There was an opportunity to paint a wall on a pop-up shop. It was a temporary space, so luckily they were pretty open to trying something out because it wasn't permanent. Through that, I also got to paint like a sign for the outside of the shop, and then when they moved into a permanent space, they asked me to paint the walls of the changing rooms. Hello. It is Sunday and I've come in so that I have like a full day in the office with no one around. So I'm gonna try and film today. It's been really hard. I haven't been very good at doing it during the week because it's just hard with people around, and moving my camera like takes more time and stuff. I wonder if I'm gonna stand on my ladder. I spilt a whole, you can see, thing of like pink paint. It looked like strawberry milkshake on me the other day. Luckily, it went on the floor a bit, but luckily it didn't go anywhere else. And I'm glad it just went on me, but it went through to my other clothes, so it ruined a pair of trousers. But apart from that, there haven't been any casualties. This here is my setup. I have been storing my paints under these plastic bags, which keeps the paint fresh. You don't have to worry about it drying. Okay, yeah, maybe I'll talk about what I do. I have the blue mixed up. I don't think I'm on frame right now. Okay, this has been my setup. I don't know if it's the best way to work, but it's been fine for me. I have 4 paintbrushes that I've been using. This one is like a classic one that you get from, you know, your hardware store. I think it's a 1-inch one. This is like the biggest I've been able to go because everything there's just so much on this piece. These brushes are so nice because they hold so much paint that when you're painting on the wall, you like only have to do 1 layer. These ones, just because they're smaller brushes, they don't hold as much paint, so I found that for the smaller detail I've had to do 2 layers. Let me try and show that here. So this is just an example. Like this was used, I did with this brush, just 1 layer, and this I did with one of these brushes, and it just comes out more translucent. So yeah, just because of the size of the piece, I'm having to do 2 layers for quite a lot of it, which is like taking more time, obviously. I just have 3 sizes that I switch between. So this is the setup. I have my brushes ready to go. I have a wet cloth. I have a paper towel, and I have my paint. This next question I got, I really liked. It was any lessons I learned during the process of painting the mural. A quick one I think that a lot of people starting out make a mistake on is just how much time it takes, and often you underestimate how long you think you're going to take on it. So, you know, when you haven't got the experience of painting on such a large scale, I would just always overestimate how long you think you will spend on it. The second thing I learned, which was like quite a big learning curve, was finding out that the paints I had chosen, some of them were really translucent. So I had picked this like bright orange, bright red, and like a bright yellow. And when I went to the paint shop, the woman told me that I would need to use either an extra primer, or I would have to do like 3 to 4 coats of the paint to be able to get a really opaque finish. And for the level of detail that was involved in this piece, I really didn't have the option to do like 4 coats of paint. It would have taken me so much extra time, and so I had to last minute change the paint. And the yellow luckily was like an easy change. The red, I had to change the shade a bit drastically. Luckily, I think it still really worked. So yeah, the lesson is just to research into paint pigments a bit more, as I don't paint all the time. I'm mainly a digital artist, and figure out like what will work best before actually coming up with a final color palette. Hello. I just finished the blue. I'm feeling quite tired. Actually, just gonna get a granola bar. You've got to have lots of snacks on the job. Okay, done the blue for now. And I'm gonna do the red next. Yeah, it's going fine. I'm really tired. It's like 11:30. So I think I'm making good time. There isn't like a ton of red to do. So I think I can do like at least 2 more colors today. I am feeling a bit stressed. And I'm just feeling so tired. The lighting in here is actually terrible. It's really fluorescent. And then the lampshades are like quite low. So when I'm painting up here, I don't really get any light. So I think my eyes are maybe just tired. Maybe I just need to drink some water. That might be it. I've just had a smoothie and an Earl Grey tea today, so. So I'm just doing 1/3 of the flow, if that's how you pronounce it, and then 2/3. Of the paint. I'm kind of guessing, but it's been working really well. It basically avoids there being paint strokes. Yeah, it was such a good tip. And it doesn't change the opacity of the color or the shade of the color at all. So yeah, that is a hot tip when working with latex paint. Okay. I'm excited actually to get the red paint on, because with every layer of paint, you know, it's like painting by numbers. You feel like you're just it's like satisfying to fill in another gap. So the question I got asked the most is probably, how did I price this commission? Lots of people asking generally about pricing work, and I totally get that. It can be really daunting. It takes a lot to have the confidence to price your work, and also just like knowing all the aspects of the work before you've really done it before can be difficult to price correctly. So I priced this commission in 2 phases, one being the digital mock-up and the second being the installation phase. And then there's also the material costs, which maybe your client already has a budget for. That can always depend. Overall, I actually ended up charging by the hour for this project because it was such a complex piece. It was the most detailed and biggest mural I've ever done, and I just felt that if I charged by the hour, that was the best way for me to feel like I was getting paid for like all the work that I put into it. Lots of people like to charge by the day. They might also do this rule that I've heard where you do the square footage times by $20. Obviously never charge just $20 for your freelance work. That is not enough of an hourly wage, but when you do this calculation, it does actually work out to quite a lot. And when I did it for the wall, I think I did end up having around the same number of what my final price for the commission was. But like I said, doing it by the hour just was the way that I was comfortable with doing. Like I said, it was a very detailed piece, so I predicted 5 days of work. I think it took me 6 days, but in those 6 days, some of them I was working for like 12 hours. And you know, if you're doing a daily rate, you might not feel like you're getting exactly the amount of time that you put in back. Another aspect when pricing your work is thinking about the complexity of the project, maybe the inconvenience of it too. Complexity in design, but also in the material you're painting on. Like, is it a smooth wall or is it a really textured wall that's gonna make you use more paint, take a bit more time? Is it an awkward position where you don't have much room to maneuver? Is there going to be like a lot of distraction from people talking to you if it's like a very public piece? Also, who is it for? Is it a big advertisement for a big company? Will they be making lots of money from it, and therefore you should be making a lot of money from doing it? All these aspects you should consider when pricing your mural. Something that I used a few years ago that was really helpful for me was a document by, I think her name was Jessica Hirsch. I've kind of forgotten, but I'll link it below. It's a PDF file called The Dark Art of Pricing, and it just gives you a really good breakdown of how you should price your work as a freelance creative, particularly in graphic design and illustration. So I highly recommend that. Okay, I'm sorry the video ends quite drastically there of me finishing the mural. By the last day, I was just trying to get it done. I was in such a rush, or not such a rush. I was just very tunnel vision to get it done, and I just didn't manage to film as much as I would have liked to kind of show you how it all came together. But I did go back with my friend who is a photographer a week later, and we took photos of the final piece, which I will put up here. And then you can also see some more details of it on my Instagram. I hope that the questions were helpful. I hope you got some a bit more inside knowledge. I do struggle with articulating my thoughts sometimes. So I actually do just find voiceovers quite hard. I know I suggested it, and I wanted to ask people if they had questions because it took me so long to find some answers as well. I hope that the questions helped. If you have any that you don't think were answered, feel free to leave me a comment, or if you have any thoughts on what you saw, please leave me a comment. Oh yeah, and I did want to say just thank you so much to everyone who subscribed, because I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers, which will be an amazing goal to reach. I was hoping to reach 100 subscribers by the time that I finished my first year on YouTube, and I think that is in June, so we're ahead of schedule. So yeah, I just want to say thank you for watching and being here and supporting me. It really means a lot, and I will see you next time.